Intergalactic planetary, planetary, intergalactic, intergalactic planetary, planetary, intergalactic, intergalactic planetary, planetary, intergalactic, intergalactic planetary, planetary, intergalactic. Another dimension, 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 another dimension. Well, now don't you tell me to smile. You'll stick around and make you work your while. I'm beyond what you can dial. Maybe it's because it's so versatile. Style, profile, watch it. It always brings me back when I hear blue child. From the Hudson River out to the Nile. I run the marathon to the very last mile. Well, if you battle me, I'll feel reviled. People always say my style is wild. You got gall, you got guile. Step to me, I'm a rap profile. If you want to battle, you're in denial. Coming for your reading to check my style. Go ahead, put my rhymes on trial. Got you off into exile. Intergalactic, planetary, planetary, intergalactic, intergalactic, planetary, planetary, intergalactic. That's an A-wall, that's our team. Step inside the body, disrupt the whole scene. When it comes to beats, well, I'm a fiend. I like my sugar with coffee and cream. Well, I gotta keep it going.
Good morning. It is Sunday. This usually airs on Saturdays. I did not go live last night. We got the ROLEX 24. I currently have on my TV here. The big race going on here. It's been good so far. The GTP era has officially kicked off as of a little bit past 1:30 yesterday. So we're going to be talking about the ROLEX 24. We're going to be talking about Rally Monte Carlo also, and a couple other things. So we'll start with Rally Monte Carlo. That was last weekend. Came and went pretty quickly. Again, great event. Kickoff to the WRC season, and it was won by everybody. Kind of knew what was going to happen. It was Sebastian Ogier. Kind of, I don't want to say. I mean, he dominated the event for the most part. A couple other people won some stages and stuff. Kalle Rovanperä kind of started to eat away at his lead, but he's kind of Sebastian Ogier is the kind of driver who will, let off if he had a big lead and he didn't really want to take chances towards the end. I think the lead got down to like 16 seconds, and he ended up, holding on to the win pretty easily. Like I said, he's a very smart driver. If he has a big lead, if he has a lead enough, if he can back off on a few stages and not, go full on, he'll do it. The M Sport guys kind of had a couple issues. There was some power steering issues. Oyt Tanak, I guess, for a while only had like a partial power steering. Pierre-Louis Loubet went off and hit a sign, damaged the car. I think twice it happened, and he had no power steering for a few stages. So that guy, pretty good arm workout, going high speed with no power steering in those cars. It's very, very hard. And again, they're hybrid cars and stuff, so the engines, everything's a little bit different. Kind of a funny moment that happened was Jordan. I'm probably saying his last name wrong. It was Jordan Sertaridis. I guess during one of the stages, comes around a corner, and it was a night stage. And if you've ever seen a rally car at night, they have these big light pods on the front, very bright lights. He came around the corner, and then illuminated some adult act going on. So it was kind of funny. You can find the picture. It is up there, and you can So that was a kind of a funny moment, but yeah, you can find pretty sure you can find the picture. I read an article about it, so it was pretty funny, kind of crazy that people would do that, knowing it's a night stage, and those lights are very bright. It was literally right on the side of the road. So it kind of sucked for them. Oit did finish 5th. He almost was very close to a power stage win. Cali Rovanpera he was the last runner, and he kind of took the stage. I think it was 0.6 of a second. He beat Oit by, so very close. It's bonus points, which is good. It was a solid start to the season, which is what he needed, and it was a good, like I said, good event overall. There was an issue in Rally 2 with Nikolai Gryazin. Was originally awarded the win. He had a 5-second penalty. They discovered he cut a corner a bit too much. He kind of went completely off the corner, like wasn't on the road at all. He kind of just skipped over it, which led to a penalty and gave the win to Johan Rosell, I believe is how you say his name. So he ends up the winner of Rally 2. And then kind of sticking to rallying type of stuff. Nitro Rallycross also was in action last weekend. Another fantastic event. They had first snow and ice event, and went pretty well. Obviously, the track, changes over the course of a couple days, so things kind of got rutted up and was getting torn up a little bit, but it was still a very good event, very entertaining to watch. They always have a jump and stuff like that, so it wasn't a huge jump, but it was still there, and it was a solid first event for them. I'm sure that they learned a lot. It was won by, oddly enough, a Jamaican guy. Ended up winning the event, which he had only driven on snow the previous week. He did some testing, not even in the car that he was running. They use electric cars, the FC1X. It's a purpose-built rally car, like rally. I don't even know if you could call it a car, because it looks like more of a crossover. Like it is larger. But yeah, he had done some snow testing the week before, and that was his first experience with snow and ice, being from Jamaica. Fraser McConnell is his name. He ended up winning the whole event, beating out some Norwegians and stuff. So you got to have pretty decent talent to be able to do that. People who are already used to driving in snow and ice and stuff like that, especially racing in those conditions. It wasn't a lot of those guys. It wasn't their first time racing in that environment. So it was a pretty solid event. Travis Pastrana, I don't know if anybody follows him on like social media or anything like that, but he had a Ken Block tribute car. There was a lot of KB Forever signs, and everybody had it on their car. And they did a couple tribute videos and stuff like that. So it was nice to see. It was their first event after what happened, and that whole series actually is very entertaining to watch. It's nice. They're set up a bit differently than the FIA World Rallycross. The FIA World Rallycross, they're smaller courses. They use courses a bit longer. They do have another snow and ice event coming up, actually, I believe in Calgary, very soon. So, I mean, if you catch that, I believe you can find it on Nitro Rallycross's YouTube channel, and you can also find it on Peacock. Also airs them. So I would suggest checking it out. It's a very good series, very entertaining to watch. Another entertaining to watch series. I haven't gotten to watch the races yet. There were 2 races, I believe Thursday and Friday at Daytona, kind of in support of the ROLEX 24. There were actually a few races even last week. The VP Challenge Series started. I talked about that before a little while ago in a video earlier this week. It was good races. I watched one of them. I didn't see the second one. But Thursday and Friday they had the Mazda MX-5 series races. That is a fantastic series. All the races are always entertaining. I mean, it's very close racing. It's a spec car. Everybody's using the same car. There's very minor setup changes and stuff that you could do. But I mean, the engines are sealed, so you can't mess with the engines. It's a stock Mazda Miata engine, is what it is. It's very simple. Did all right, so we're pulling this up. So let's get this pulled up here. Daytona. So yeah, those MX-5 races. I plan on watching them maybe today after the ROLEX 24 ends. Right now I'm just focused on the ROLEX 24. The pretty good race so far, but I'll talk about that in a minute. The MX-5 series, like I said before, it's a great series to watch. It's always close racing. And it was pretty much the same this year. They did have a night race. I don't think they had one last year. One was in the rain. They did have one, it looked like at nighttime. I saw a little bit of footage from it, and it was pretty wild to see what they were doing. With those little cars. The MX-5 I've never driven one. I know somebody who has one, and they are seemingly very fun cars to drive. But there was the Michelin Pilot Challenge series, got their season underway. A couple NASCAR guys, Harrison Burton, ended up taking the win in a GT4 Mustang. Excuse me, in a GT4 Mustang. They actually got it up. GT4s actually got the Mustangs got first and third. Ben Rhodes and Haley Deegan got third place. That's a pretty good, solid start. They're not running, I believe those 2 cars are not running full season this year. And it's pretty astonishing, actually, for especially those cars that still be pretty competitive like that. They were saying how they were 8 or 9 years old. I'm going to make the cam smaller here. I'm covering up. We're going to take a look at some photos here from 2018, the ROLEX 24 2018. This was the first time I went. We'll be talking about that in a minute. But that race I haven't watched. It's a 4-hour race, and it was a pretty good. I saw footage here and there, just clips and stuff, and that looked like a pretty good race. A little bit of action. And then yesterday, starting around a little bit after 1:30, there was the ROLEX 24 began. They are obviously still running. It's a 24-hour race for those that don't know. So far, so good. The GTP series, or GTP class, excuse me, officially kicked off. So that's a new era going on here in IMSA. All the cars, last they said, were running, are on track. I know one of the BMWs kind of pulled off and was sitting for quite a bit. Nothing too crazy. There's been a couple crashes so far, none that were really all that big. So, but so far, so good. You can catch that. I mean, they have the full race through different networks and stuff that NBC owns. So it's on NBC, it's on USA. They do have a schedule of when everybody's, what channel it's going to be airing on at the same, at different times. It is but you can watch the whole thing on Peacock. If you have Peacock, they air the whole thing. You can watch the replay too. So you can, whenever you jump in, if you jump in late, you can always go back and watch. I know IMSA, you can catch the MX5 races on IMSA's YouTube channel. Maybe they're up on Peacock now, but they weren't as of the other day. I checked to see if I could watch it on Peacock, but they're not there. But you can find them on the YouTube channel. Like a lot of the races, actually, you can find on the YouTube channel, which is YouTube's obviously a very good tool for that. I mean, last weekend, iRacing even did a special 24-hour Daytona race with the, I guess, the GT cars. You could race, whatever GT car you wanted. And then the GTP cars, where I think only the BMW is in the iRacing game so far. Let me see. I got a couple other bits, I think. If I remember correctly, there were a couple other things. Nope. All right. So, thought I had some car news that was on the list. Actually, speaking of car news, the first 2024 Mustang GT went up for sale at Barrett-Jackson. I guess auctioned off for $465,000. You can find that on their Instagram, more than likely on their Twitter and stuff like that. $465,000, and all of it goes to the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. One of their charity cars. They have a bunch of charity cars throughout the event. I know Ford does one pretty much every year. I'm not sure if there's any other manufacturers that do it. But the car sold for like $465,000, and then there was another like 500 and some odd thousand as just straight donations. So that's a pretty cool thing that they do every year. And then there was also a Nardo Gray Ferrari F40. Beautiful car. F40, honestly one of Ferrari's best cars. That went for like $2.5 million. So I used to watch the Barrett-Jackson all the time. I don't really pay as close attention to it as I used to. It would be really cool to go to one of those with their size and the amount of cars that they have. I mean, I would just go walk around. Obviously, I don't have $2.5 million to be spending on a car. There's always a lot of cool stuff, rare cars. Even once in a while, they have like concept cars that people have somehow acquired, and that stuff gets sold. You got custom cars and things like that. So it's a pretty good one. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the Scottsdale one. They have a couple throughout the year, all over the place. I think there's one in like Florida, I forget where else they go. They do go somewhere, um, somewhere on the East Coast. I forget what city, but yeah, it's a pretty cool event. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Um, it's cool to watch. I'm not sure who airs it currently. I would assume it's got to air somewhere. We don't have the Speed Channel anymore, which is who used to air a lot of the event. Let's see what else I want to talk about. Yeah, let's go through. Actually, we're gonna go through some of these photos here. So this is my first trip down to Daytona, and this was in 2018 at the Rolex 24. So the cars are gonna be quite a bit different. There's honestly, the facility itself is just there. It's massive. It's just huge. There's so much in it and around it. And a lot of people don't really know, but I paid 3 years in a row. I paid like $150 for a 4-day pass. I never went on Thursday, but I went on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, obviously, because the 24-hour race starts on Saturday and into Sunday. And then I saw the races on Friday also. They have a couple races on Thursdays. Now it's the MX5. I know there's like Porsche Cup. I saw there was like a Ferrari Challenge race. And it's a huge value over most other, even just most other motorsports and sports itself. It's a huge value because it's $150, and that was, I believe with parking, a 4-day parking pass too. It's that is like cheap as hell to go to be able to go for 4 days, see everything that you're seeing, because there's a lot of action going on. There's practices, there's extra races and things like that. And I could walk through the garage. That included the pit walk. So before the races, they have all the cars lined up on the pits, on pit road. So you can walk down, you get up close to the cars. A lot of the drivers are around. They do have autograph session in the mornings. So it is hugely, and then you can even walk across the track to get up into the grandstands. They have spots that are open, and you walk up, so you can cross the front stretch basically, and even just the front stretch. I mean, the corners are very, very banked, but even this front stretch is a pretty steep banking. It's definitely up there. But this is one of there were a bunch of other pictures of just regular cars before this that I took at the time. But yeah, the first time I walked into the infield, practice was going on, and it was pretty awesome for sure. Like I said, huge facility. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just a corner. I take a lot of stupid pictures, but even the amount of time. Yeah, this is the Ferrari Challenge. Even the amount of areas that you go around, you can access. They have all kinds of stuff going on inside. Yeah, this is for one of the Ferrari Challenge races. I don't know why that one's small. But they have like a whole food area. There's like food vendors. I had very, very tasty pizza there. It was like a garlic bread, like crust. It was normal pizza looking, but like the actual crust was garlic bread. It was freaking fantastic. Fresh donuts. I had a couple of those, and those were very good. shrimp tacos. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, and it's very, very good. Well, I think one of the craziest things though that I saw, because this whole weekend, there's camping areas that people have, and then you have your RV area, and you have like a separate like parking camper area. That's is typically full from overhearing some conversations that people were having, that they're full basically all the time. They sell out very quickly. A lot of people just renew right away. And you basically just wait until somebody doesn't come for a few years or whatever to get into a spot. But I mean, some of these people had like elaborate setups. Like somebody had like their big screen TV on the side of their RV with couches and recliners and stuff. And so it's almost like they brought their whole house. There was a full pig roast somebody had going on. I didn't expect to see it, but it was definitely very cool. This is some more Ferrari challenge stuff. It's a small one. I don't think you'll be able to see those very well. Just motion picture. One of these cars, I didn't get a picture of it, I don't think. One of them lost their wheel. It kind of came off. This is a Roush car. Yeah, like I said, there's manufacturers that have displays and stuff, and it was showing off a race car. This was the Porsche at the time. Those things were super loud. It sounded pretty nasty. Yeah, there was a lot to see and a lot to do. This is, like I said, you walk through the garage area, so you see a lot of the Ferrari, the Ferrari challenge cars. You see the top cars, the IMSA, all the IMSA cars and things like that. It's pretty wild. A lot of access. Got more Ferrari challenge. Like I said, garage access. One of the Lamborghinis at the time. I'm not sure. That might be the one that actually won that year. It was Lamborghini's first like endurance race win. Like first 24-hour race win. Pretty cool. Obviously, being a Ford fan, I took a picture of the Ford pit roads. This was on the front stretch. Tried to be artsy. I suck at photography, so yeah, a lot of these are people signing, writing their names on the start finish line, which always gets cleaned off anyway. Big Daytona stuff in the track. This was the McLaren, the Mercedes AMG GT, Aston Martin. They did have a woman driver. There was a whole team that was all women drivers. It's pretty cool. This is when Volt Racing had the Mustang. Honestly, one of the coolest looking cars. We had a couple other Mustangs. This was before the Michelin Pilot Challenge series race. The grid walk. We'll just get through this stuff like pretty quickly here. Didn't do too bad that year. Up in the grandstands, races about ready to start here. So there should be a video coming up with the start. Some extra parts. Maybe there isn't a video to start. There's gotta be. Focus RS, which was a new car at the time. This was actually the final year that they had those, which I finally own one now. Very happy about. A lot of this stuff should be GoPro footage. GT350, race car, Carlo Shelby. They always have old cars, old race cars on display. I had special edition Ford GT just kind of parked in the camping area. I'm not sure whose that was. But a lot of the team owners, there is a special area. But I think a lot of the racers and team owners and stuff are in an area because it's kind of right behind the garages. Ford GT race car at the time. These are the classic race cars. They take those out for a few laps. They run for a little bit, which is pretty cool to see. Ford GT. More track walk stuff. So this is the day of. I don't know why I didn't take a video of the pilot challenge race. It's kind of seems pretty stupid to me. Unless I'm just missing that video, which is very possible. Whoop, that is a video. Yeah, for another Ford GT sitting out. A little area. One of the Porsches coming off in the race currently. So this is during the race. I don't know where the start of the race videos are. A lot of nice cars. There's so many nice cars. Like I said, a lot of places to go and sit. I believe this was the year that the Ford GT started 4th and 5th. And by lap 1, they were 1st and 2nd. And they led that class basically pretty much the full race. Trailers. More picks, some classics. Yeah, big Ferris wheel. I guess that Ferris wheel goes up every year. It becomes like the tallest Ferris wheel or something like that on the East Coast every year. Got some nighttime action, blurry ass photos. This was taken from obviously a cell phone at the time, or GoPro. These are GoPro and cell phone videos basically. And pictures, motion photos. This is a lot. This is so stupid. Blurry ass photo. Blurry ass photo. The videos are probably the blurry parts. Yeah, all this stuff is lit up at night. It's basically like a carnival area. I mean, if you have the opportunity to go to this race, I would suggest doing it. It's definitely, like I said, definitely worth it. With the amount of stuff you get to see and do, it's definitely something to do. Like I said, I went 3 years in a row. Oh yeah, it did rain this year, actually. It rained for only a few minutes. Enough to wet the track down. I think the Porsche 911 went off. Not 100% positive on that though. Ford GT in the pits. Look how filthy. I mean, running a car 24 hours. You get very, very dirty. Unfortunately, one of the Mazdas had problems. Cadillac had issues. It's kind of funny because some of those in the race cars, you think race cars are all loud and stuff. Some of them really not that loud. Pretty weird. The BMWs weren't really that loud. The Lexuses were kind of loud. They sounded kind of like a wet fart, though. It was weird. You got some of the prototype cars. There's a lot here. There's definitely a lot of photos. Took a lot of photos and videos. This pit stop. I did get one at the end. Yep. It's after they won first and second place. That was the winning Lamborghini. There's a whole Corvette area. Am I back at the beginning? Yeah, I'm back at the beginning. Said some of the old Lancia, old freaking Porsches. I forget if that was the old Cadillac race car or something, some sort of weird prototype car. Yeah, there's the whole. Like I said, they always have a display of old classic vehicles and stuff like that. Pretty cool to see. The camera's struggling to focus. Let me find a picture to put on the background here. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, if you have the opportunity to go, and you know what, go to a race, whatever race it is. Racing is just cool. This stuff is cool to see in person. But particularly if you have the opportunity to go down to Daytona and see the Rolex 24, I'll put this up. Hell yeah. If you have the opportunity to go to Daytona, they had a Forza Motorsport display where you could play Forza Motorsport. Yeah, like I said, this was honestly this is easily the best event that I've ever gone to. I've been to a few different races and stuff like that. You know, Aston Martin slowing down. That's not good. I've been to NHRA events, NASCAR events. Would love to see a rally in real life, which who knows if I ever will be able to. Maybe not a WRC event, but you know, an ARA event would be pretty cool. But there's definitely, you know, sports car racing has over the last few years has really become one of my more favorite ones. Rallying will always be the top. But yeah, this event is easily the coolest event I've gone to, and I would suggest to anybody to, if you have the opportunity to go to it, because it is definitely cool. Like I said, there's so much to see and so much to do, even outside of the event. I believe the last time I went, which was in 2020, after the race on Friday, after the Michelin Pilot Challenge race on Friday, they had a car show. There's a big like shopping area across the street from the track. It's called One Daytona. There was a car show there. There were a few very, very nice cars there. That was even cool to do. Like I said, there's so much to see and do, and there's so much going on at that event and everything. So that is going to do it for this week. I'm going to start compiling stuff for next week. So yeah, I hope everybody's having a good week. Hope you had a good week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, the last few hours that we have here. If you're not watching the ROLEX 24, go turn it on. It's going to be ending in a little bit under 5.5 hours. There's 5 hours and 27 minutes left. So right now the Corvette's leading in GTD Pro. It is being chased down by a Mercedes AMG GT. But yeah, hope you all had a great week. Hope you start the week off right tomorrow and have an awesome week. I appreciate anybody who watches. Again, I'll catch you next week. This is making this a weekly thing, obviously, so far. So hope everybody had a great week. Thank you, anybody who is currently watching or watches this later. You can always catch it live. I do have a link that will be down below on YouTube in the description. With all my social media channels, feel free to give a follow and see anything going on during the week. Car show stuff is going to be coming up. Obviously, racing season's going here, so there's going to be a lot of car show stuff posts coming up in the next, probably starting in March, maybe. Any events that I'm looking to go to, and racing news, car news, and stuff like that. You'll see either on my social media channels or on here. I'll be talking about it also. So hope you all have an awesome week. Catch you on the next one. I'll see you next week. Trying to get this done on Saturdays instead of Sunday mornings. Hoping to do it on Saturday nights. I have a bunch of changes and stuff that I'd like to make and whatnot. So again, I appreciate everybody who watches this. If you want to comment on YouTube, feel free to do that. Any kind of topic you would like to talk about, just feel free to let me know. Any kind of racing series to check out and stuff like that. I know I believe there's a 12-hour race in Bathurst that started. I don't know if it started. It's hard. I'm not sure what time it is in Australia right now, but I know that there was a 12-hour race, I believe, Bathurst. I heard somebody talking about the other day. So, I appreciate it. I'll catch you all next week, and have a great day.
Intergalactic, 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 planetary, intergalactic.